Hey there guys, I'm Axel the Beast, and this is the Curiosity Shop, the ZeldaEngine.net video mailbag where I answer your Zelda questions. And I know it's a little bit late, but you know, it's only one day late, so we're still going to be doing this Halloween mailbag. Greetings, I am the Poe, and this is the Curiosity Shop, the ZeldaDungeon.net video mailbag, where I answer your Zelda questions for darkness, death, and evil. I have possessed Axel the Beast, your regular host, in order to bring you these messages. Without further ado, let us begin. Banjo Dan, the crazy Banjo Man, asks, of all the different races in the Zelda series, which one would you like to see reappear in the upcoming game? The demons from Skyward Sword. Fiery Link asks, what's your favorite mask from Majora's Mask? The Gibdo Mask. Obviously. What else would someone who looks like me pick? Be sure to give your answers to these questions in the comments. That is something Axel would say. Minhagaza asks, if a Zelda movie were to come out, who would you want to write it? And who would you want to direct it? I would choose Edgar Allan Poe to write the movie. And I would choose Alfred Hitchcock to direct it. Yes, they are dead. But this doesn't really matter. Zelda Freak 217 asks, Dark Link is one of my favorite characters in the game. Do you think he should be the main antagonist of a game? And why haven't they made Dark Link a big character in older games? The reason he never was a big character in the older games is simply because that was when they had first created him and he was meant to be some kind of simple test. Not even really evil, which of course is foolish. And yes, I would like to see him in a prominent role, but we could see him as the protagonist, perhaps. That could be much more interesting. Albert's 2434 asks, do you think that Fierce Deity Link could be used more in Majora's Mask? If so, how? Also, do you wish to see it again? A mask transformation for Link that has dark power equal to the villain and could risk corrupting him? Yes, I would very much like to see that again in the series. As for how it could have been used more in Majora's Mask, I do not know. Hank Wickle asks, I've always thought that the representation of good and evil in Zelda is too black and white, and it makes the plot a little bland. What do you think of future games blurring the line between good and evil? Do you think that's something we might see in future games in the series? I certainly hope so. Blurring good and evil just means more evil. Editor Finn asks, which do you prefer, being able to fight the bosses again or 50 to 100 floor dungeons? Fighting the bosses again is typically something done as an extra challenge or minigame. A 50 to 100 floor dungeon, on the other hand, would make the dungeon much more long and arduous, and it would make it much more difficult for Link. George Sullivan asks, do you like the idea of the Gold Skulltulas? If so, would you like to see them or something like them in future games? Yes, in general I would like to see Hyrule more covered in curses, like that one, perhaps. Or different is good too, as long as there are more curses. Hyoimaru asks, why didn't Ganondorf use the window that Navi leaves from at the end of Ocarina of Time? Light is shining through it, so surely it isn't hidden too well, and he could easily find it and use a ladder. Clearly he did not think his plan all the way through. Wind Waker 620 asks, I was wondering why there is a random dead tree in the middle of the room where you fight Shadow Link in the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time. Have any ideas? Does there need to be a reason why there's a dead tree? Or a dead anything? A dead animal? A dead Link? Tink asks, why do you think the Gerudo are generally depicted as evil or not friendly? Do you think this is because of Ganondorf's influence, and they might be more friendly when he's not their king? Or are they just not friendly at all? Exceptions being Four Swords Adventures, and after Link gains their respect in Ocarina of Time. Unfortunately, those are about half their appearances, those exceptions you mentioned. As for why they're depicted as evil, they were designed to be Ganondorf's followers. They should be Ganondorf's followers. All humans have potential for evil. Anyone knows this. The Gerudo just fail on many occasions. Clearly, Ganondorf's influence helps keep them in their proper place. Ron 2112 asks, in Majora's Mask, there is a transformation mask for every compass direction, except for the East, Icona. Why do you think Nintendo used the Gibdo Mask as a regular mask, not a transformation mask? And would you have liked there to be a transformation mask? Yes, definitely there should have been one. Cheddard asks, during the Arbiter's Grounds in Twilight Princess, after you beat the Death Sword, it breaks up into a bunch of moths. Do you think in a future game, the Death Sword will come back and be a more prominent enemy to the story? Unfortunately, no, I do not think that is going to happen. The Death Sword is a good friend of mine, and someone I highly respect. But unfortunately, it seems that Nintendo uses him as a one-shot villain. Bigfoot 694 asks, do you think it would be awesome if hundreds of years later Ganondorf or some other villain found the Dark Sword and released Ghirahim for his revenge. I love Ghirahim's character and think it would be a waste to only have him in one game. Yes, I think that is an excellent plan. Do you have any specifics which Nintendo, of course, could use to enact this plan? Cran6 asks, do you think Demise will ever return in another Zelda game? Yes, and he already has. And he always will. Demise shall always return. Final question. Olimar asks, why do you think they avoid words like kill or murder in Zelda games when you spend most of your time trying to kill things? Well, I think that the presence of things like me and the Shadow Temple, lovely place, prove that there is no shortage of death in the series, despite the terminology used. And I'm afraid that is the end of our time. I hope you understand evil and its place in the world, its permanent place, a little bit better. And now I shall return to you, your pathetic mortal host, the usual host, of course, sans his soul. Oh, man. I feel, what is this? Whoa. I feel really weird. What happened? I don't even, what happened here? You ever get this, like, sneaking suspicion that you're, like, about to turn into gold or something? Yep. This is totally what I had to do. See, it would reflect on my face and it was visible, so I had to, like, cover it in black. I know I look like an idiot. I probably don't even look human because the lights probably obscure my eyes. Oh.